So one of the things, just before we go there, is one of the things that the reason what they want to do is they want to do key injection. That's the goal of this, is so they can be able to, somehow, I don't understand it, but they'll be able to dial in an ATM and inject the keys. Instead of us programming keys, they're going to be able to inject the keys to minimize, I guess, fraud, I guess, for the most part.
Correct.
So that's what they're trying to do, and that's why they're making this jump.
So the next thing we want to talk about are ATMs in cannabis locations. And a lot of the sponsor banks have changed their narrative on how they are allowing or not allowing the ATMs in cannabis locations. And I think Mike's going to talk to about MetaBank's policy or procedures.
Absolutely. So just by show of hands, how many people have ATMs outside of bars and nightclubs? Put your hands down if all your ATMs were still running during COVID. So we found out something during COVID that most people didn't know, and that was marijuana was an essential business. Anybody find that ironic? I found it a blessing. It allowed most of our clients that were not just in the bar and nightclub space to actually make money and grow their operations. We also seen a lot more diversification into more convenience store, liquor store, other types of outlets outside of the typical bar scene. What MetaBank did for us, who are sponsored by MetaBank, is they allowed us to pay not a fine, but a fee on a monthly basis to allow all of our ATMs to continue to operate. Previous to them allowing us on this program, and it came out just before COVID, like September, I think of 19 is when the program went into effect. And they charge a pretty hefty fee. They do an additional due diligence. They expect us as the ISO to monitor our affiliates, the affiliate owns and operates the ATM in the store. The store is not physically allowed to own and cash load the store. MetaBank doesn't agree with the marijuana business, they agree with us in the ATM space. So they've allowed us to do that without turning the units off. It used to be fun on a Friday afternoon when...
So if you're thinking about starting your profitable ATM business but didn't know how to start, stay to the end of the video and I'll show you a checklist on how to start your profitable ATM business so you can start off the right way and avoid costly mistakes along the way. In this checklist, I will show you the 5 things you need to start your profitable ATM business so you can build a passive income source for your family. You'll have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success so you can earn between $250 and $1,500 of passive income every single month. All right, let's get back to the video.
Not that Phil would do that, but he'd walk into one of my stores and go, Mike's operating marijuana ATMs. He'd call MetaBank in Columbus Data. My store would get shut down. I'd have to go out and issue 4 new TIDs, go out and get those reprogrammed, so that they would run through the weekend before we could get them back up and operational. But today, that's all gone away, and most of the sponsor banks are now playing ball with us, saying, look at all this transaction volume and all this additional money we're making, and they're enjoying the revenue with us. But there'll be an additional fee for that opportunity. But as an ISO and supporting a number of clients that are in that space, we thought it was a necessity to go ahead and pay that. We did not pass it through to our clients. We just went ahead and took care of that based on the sheer volume that those types of locations brought. So MetaBank has been wonderful to play with. Anybody with a different sponsor bank up here?
Yeah, I got Pueblo. So we do the same thing, but we're absorbing the cost, same issue. So one of the things that was a blessing is because now you can operate above board, and then you can scrutinize. You know, some operators, what they do is they would put an ATM in a cannabis location. They're doing 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 transactions a month, and then pretty soon the location wouldn't buy that. So this really prevents that. And we have meeting after meeting that the sponsor banks they promise we're not going to allow it. So hopefully they scrutinize it and they don't allow owner operators, so to speak, guys who own cannabis dispensaries, to put their own cash in there, and they shut them down. That increases our opportunity here in the audience for us to make more money, and it's a great opportunity.
And I agree with them. The transaction volume in the dispensaries is good, and all 3 of us are our bankers, our meta banks, our bank sponsors, they let us do it. There's no charge to the customer. And once again, if you own a dispensary, you cannot own an ATM nor cash load an ATM. And I think that's good for everybody. And this way we can move forward and everybody being in compliance.
One thing I would caution you though, if you're doing cannabis, I would caution you maybe to keep it soft on a down low with your own bank, or maybe go to Armored Car. Because some of the banks, and I know I was talking to a couple of friends in the audience who are like, hey, my bank is asking me, do I do cannabis dispensaries? Am I doing Bitcoin? How do I answer these questions? And the best thing is to switch bank on those dispensaries.